almost didn't make it. I almost didn't last. Why does the week go by so slow, the weekend so fast? But luckily the days come to take my cares away. It's not Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. That's right, it's Friday. Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday. Friday. Today I know the weekend. So I'll get out of bed and be to work on time. I'll give this day to the company, the next 2 days of mine. And when my day's over and the final work hour's passed, I'll go home, have a shot of Cuervo to the boss who can kiss my Friday. Friday. Tonight I'll party with my friends. Friday. Friday. Today I know the weekends. Friday. Friday.
Yeehaw! It's Friday, bitches.
Yes.
Enjoy yourselves.
Yes. I'm feeling all of that.
73-ish today. Back towards the mid-70s tomorrow and up near 80 again on Monday. Sunday and Monday, I should say.
Cool night tonight.
Yes. Fire pit?
Maybe.
Fire pit.
Maybe.
Chad texted in already, wants to hear Last Day Under the Sun, some Vol beats. See what I can do. I know we're going to get to some Faith No More in a couple minutes. And we're going to talk to Scott Robert Shaw. A Friday edition of Bad News Happy Music is coming up. Doc should be joining us later on to talk racing. I want to test out that phone. Make sure it's working this morning.
Talked to him yesterday. He was up in Green Bay.
Yeah. But if all works out, we should be getting Doc on the phone later on for the racing report. Get to our daily check-ins, recap the Olympics, all sorts of other stuff. We had NFL preseason action last night. We'll talk about that.
Games this weekend.
Games this weekend. Packers, of course, tomorrow. Yeah. Lots to get to. Just like Chad, if you want to get in contact with us, go to rockmornings.com.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Yeah, I woke up early, about 5 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and was feeling really horrible. And I knew it was more than just being sore from the 100, you know. Woke up the doctors, and we tested, and unfortunately it came up that I was positive for COVID. It's taken its toll for sure, but I've never been more proud of myself for being able to come out here and getting a bronze medal, where last Olympics I was very disappointed, and this time I couldn't be more proud.
Did you ever consider not running the 200 final?
No, I'm not trying to, pass it off and just, to be honest, give it my all.
Kind of a wild day at the Olympics, for America at least, with Noah Lyles testing positive for COVID, running the 200, ending up in a wheelchair. USA basketball almost blowing it against Serbia, down 17
points.
Steph Curry had all the points, and they still couldn't beat him. And then they came back, and magically, I don't know how the hell they did it, but LeBron had to have a triple-double. Steph Curry went off, and they ended up beating Serbia barely and moving on.
Advanced to the gold medal round.
They got to play Wemby, though.
Yep, France is up next for the gold medal.
On his home court, so... But yeah, Noah Lyles testing positive and then running the race. Didn't get gold, but the guy from Rice Lake, he came in second, right?
He came in second, Kenny Bednarik,
Bednarik, yeah, that's awesome.
Second consecutive Olympics that he's captured a silver medal in the 200-meter dash.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. We'll continue to recap yesterday's Olympic action throughout the morning. Did we get our news stuff up and running?
No.
All right, so we're just going to half-ass it this morning.
Sure. Why not? It's Friday.
Homeless people, they're not in the parks anymore, right? They can't camp.
That's the ruling from a meeting last night.
Right.
The city of La Crosse planning to ban camping on city-owned property, specifically in parks. The vote prohibits camping in parks after recently voting to enforce a 12-hour time limit on staying in one location in a park. That seems to be out the window now. They also talked about the possibility of using Huska Park once again as a site for the homeless to legally camp, but they voted that down as well. They did have a list of, I think, 10 or 11 different sites, both indoors and outdoors. That they
know the hotel on the island, people on the island
not
don't
happy
want
about
them.
that.
They are very pissed off about that.
Well, and you think about the lack of police presence they have on French Island, right? What do they have, a couple of officers over there?
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, it is still kind of considered part of La Crosse, and you'll get, lacrosse officers that'll go over there if they have to or whatever, but Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, well, we don't want the problem here, so we'll put it on the island and make it their problem.
Right. And of that list of possible locations that included that hotel on French Island, they have not made any decision on that as yet. So far, the only thing they've really done is said you can't camp in city parks.
Well, they keep saying things, but they don't do it.
But they don't always enforce it. And they haven't yet said where the homeless can go, which was one of the things that they were looking at deciding at that meeting last night, but they did not.
Which makes it hard to enforce, because then what do you say?
Right.
Don't do this, but go, I don't know.
Right. Just not here. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the role that the La Crosse police are having to play when they deal with these homeless calls. You know, the people are trespassing, essentially, on private property. La Crosse police come and tell them to move along, and they're saying, where are we supposed to go? Yeah. The La Crosse County Sheriff's Office investigating what they're saying is a suspicious death after a person was found yesterday afternoon outside of a mobile home in Shelby. Police were called for a report of a body outside that home. It was located behind All-Star Lanes off Mormon Cooley Road. They're still working to determine what led to that person's death. The Nia Tao murder trial is about to enter its 5th day today. Tao is being tried for a second time for a triple murder at a quarry in West Salem. His first trial ended in a hung jury. Tao's attorney claims another man, Cam Radensack, was responsible for the murders, but prosecutors say it was Tao who pulled the trigger. Radensack has already been found guilty and is serving a life sentence. He will be in court to testify for the prosecution today. It's unclear when the defense will begin presenting its case. A man who broke into an Eau Claire home, stole a gun, and then beat a woman with that gun is now heading to prison. A judge in Eau Claire yesterday sentenced Mitchell Henke to 3 years in prison. Police launched a week-long search for Henke after the assault and eventually found him in Oshkosh. Prosecutors say Henke beat the woman in front of her 2-year-old child. He will serve 3 years of probation after his prison sentence. Milwaukee Brewers rookie Jackson Chourio hit 2 two-run home runs, part of a 6-home-run, 20-hit barrage by the Milwaukee Brewers as they swept the Atlanta Braves with a convincing 16-7 victory yesterday. The Braves, who gave up 36 hits over the past 2 games and were outscored 34-12 in the series, are now on a 5-game losing streak. The Brewers will start the opener of a 3-game series against Cincinnati later today.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom.
It's nice weather for that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we got a text from Corbin.
Much drier. You know, the air is just dry and it's cool. And
Corbin said he slept with his windows open last night. Felt like I was in a morgue. Best sleep ever.
Felt great.
Oh, I've had mine all week. It's been great.
Nope. Still got that AC on,
like
Shaw.
that outside. You don't like that.
It's going to be 80
outside.
degrees on Sunday, man. I'm not messing around.
It's only 71 today.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
It's in the 50s at the moment.
That's nice. I can be comfortable inside and outside.
There you go.
See? It's wonderful. I can go inside, be nice and cold and comfortable the way I like it, and then I can go outside and be like, oh, it's a really nice day.
Also nice, yes.
And then when I don't want to be outside anymore, I can go back inside, and I'll still be comfortable. It's delightful.
You got it figured out.
I do. I try. Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. We'll get back to him in just a bit. More Olympic stuff in a few. Also some Faith No More after the warning.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Tara's husband realizing that his wife is now the Olympic champion. She has her final jump.
She did it. She did it, Bobby. Oh, my God, man. You're the Olympic champion.
Tara Davis Woodall takes home gold for Team USA in the women's long jump.
Yes, the Olympics may be winding down, but that doesn't mean we're done winning medals. Come on now.
Hell no.
We're in the home stretch. Team USA ending day 13, still hanging on to the gold medal lead, but by a thread. We managed to snag 3 more golds yesterday, all in track and field. As you heard there,
Hurdles, right? Hurlers?
Yep. Tara Davis Woodall won the women's long jump. Grant Holloway got a gold in the men's 110-meter hurdles, and Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone broke her own world record for the 6th time in the women's 400-meter hurdles.
Yeah, that girl, she's just
like, whatever, I'll just keep doing the damn thing.
It's like she jumps once, and then she's at the finish line.
Oh, yeah.
She's just amazing.
We also scored 3 silvers and 2 bronze medals in track and field yesterday, a bronze in the men's sports climbing. Men's basketball team managed to come back from 17 points down to beat Serbia 95-91 in the semifinal.
Barely.
Hey, look, these other players are playing professionally as well. A lot of them are in the NBA, and they're not just going to be chumps. And Serbia was probably their toughest test, and they managed to overcome a 17-point deficit late in the game too. This wasn't like in the first quarter. This was very late in the game.
Like too late in the game.
Going into the fourth quarter, I think they were down 15. And they managed to somehow come back, and they're going to play France tomorrow. I think it's at 2:30 in the gold medal game. U.S. leading China today in the overall medal count, 103-73. China had the lead in golds, or had cut the lead in golds to just one, with the USA having 30 and China with 29. Australia's got 18 golds, France with 14, 13 each for Great Britain, South Korea, and Japan. Other than the Olympics, there's plenty of other sports happening. Obviously, Major League Baseball continuing with the Brewers hitting every single home run ever invented. Dude, seriously, they hit like so many damn home runs yesterday. It was ridiculous. Rookie Jackson Chourio hit two of them, two two-run homers. 6 homers altogether for the Brewers yesterday.
Oh, my gosh. What? That would have been a great game to be at.
In a 16-7 win. Yeah, it was also buy one, get one beers yesterday.
Oh, that's
Remember
right.
that?
That's right. Maybe it was karma.
Getting lit up at the game. The Brewers are at home against Cincinnati tonight, 7-10 against the Reds. NFL preseason week 1, kicking off last night with the Patriots over the Panthers, 17-3. Giants over the Lions, 14-3. Tonight, you've got more NFL action with the Texans at the Steelers, 6 o'clock on the NFL Network. Bears are at Buffalo tomorrow at noon on the NFL Network. Vikings will be at 3 o'clock on the NFL Network hosting the Raiders. Packers, of course, in Cleveland to take on the Browns tomorrow at 3:25. White Sox, the model for futility in Major League Baseball this year, have now fired their head coach, manager, if you want to call him that. Pedro Grifol. They also named former All-Star outfielder Grady Sizemore as the interim replacement. And Juan Chichi Rodriguez, the Hall of Fame golfer, did the sword thing with his golf club on the...
Yes.
He died yesterday at the age of 88. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. If you need something, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
For all intents and purposes, a really nice Friday throughout the region and the valley. It looks like 70, much drier, much cooler. And then, maybe like you said, a campfire. I know there's a lot of fests going on. Irish Fest is here in town.
Yep.
And there's a lot of, outdoor activities to take in. But whether you're camping, camping would be great this weekend. That cool nights in the tent or camper, and then those nice mornings where it's crisp and you're making the bacon over the campfire. Yum.
Chad wanted to hear some Volbeat, so we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Also, some Stained coming up.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Oh, you know who you are. You've been doing your daily action, putting lots of overtime. You need some time off satisfaction. Just think how tough it's been. You've been putting out all that labor. If you use your wit, you can get out quick and do yourself a favor. Friday in effect, and you're pretty beat, I bet. It's been one tough week, you've hit your peak, and you've earned your paycheck. But now this week is over, and it's a little fun you're seeking. Your grin is wide, and I know why. Look out, here come the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That weekend?
That weekend's gonna be a monster, y'all.
Yes, a monster weekend with lots of stuff going on and improved weather. It's going to be crazy, man.
It's going to be perfect.
I can't wait. I might actually have a fire pit. I haven't had one all season. I can't do that heat, man. Can't do it. It's like, it doesn't get dark till like 9:30. Right. During the week, I'm in bed, long in bed by the time that rolls around. But on the weekends, even, it's still 80 degrees outside, and I'm like, I don't really feel like sitting outside.
Stay in the air conditioning.
Yeah. If you want to sit in some air conditioning this weekend at the movie theater.
What's in there?
Borderlands, rated PG-13. This is the movie adaptation of the popular video game. It stars Cate Blanchett as Lilith, a bounty hunter who reluctantly returns to her chaotic home planet on a mission to find someone's missing daughter, ends up on a quest for a legendary treasure vault. Team of misfits that she allies herself with include Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis. Jack Black does the voice of the robot Claptrap. It's rated PG-13.
All right.
Also, rated PG-13, It Ends With Us, Blake Lively. Mrs. Ryan Reynolds, right?
What?
In a romantic drama about a woman who finds herself in an abusive relationship similar to what her mom went through when with her father when she was just a child. It's directed by a guy named Justin Baldoni from Jane the Virgin, who also stars in the film, and apparently those two are not getting along, I guess.
Okay.
Saw a report on the interwebs about that this morning. Sure you want to mess around with Deadpool's wife? You sure you want that?
You want that?
You sure you want that on your front step? I don't think you do, buddy. Television. Of course, the Olympics continue Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Peacock. Highlights with Kevin Hart and Kenan Thompson.
Closing ceremony Sunday, is that it?
Yep. So tonight on NBC, the Olympic coverage includes the women's beach volleyball final, the women's shot put, and the 3-meter springboard diving, along with the men's 400-meter hurdle final, the women's 400-meter race, and the women's first Olympic breakdancing champion. That's on tonight. Over on Apple TV Plus, you might have seen some commercials for this one. A heist comedy called The Instigators, starring Matt Damon and Casey Affleck as thieves who go on the run. Also drag along Matt Damon's therapist, who's played by his downsizing co-star Hong Chow. Sorry, excuse me about that. On Peacock today, it's the streaming premiere of The Bike Riders, the Motorcycle Club movie that stars Tom Hardy, Austin Butler. Was in theaters about a month ago. Tomorrow on NBC, primetime Olympic coverage includes the men's basketball final. That actually takes place at 2:30 in the afternoon if you want to watch it live.
Against France
in Wembley. The men's 10-meter platform diving also included in tomorrow night's primetime Olympic coverage on NBC. The women's track and field 1,500-meter and the 4x100 relay, plus the men's first Olympic breakdancing champion. And then, yes, Gene, as you mentioned, on Sunday, 2024 Olympic closing ceremony will be at 7 o'clock on NBC. Katie Ledecky going to be walking around with that flag. I don't know if you saw that.
As should be.
Right? She earned it.
Yeah, so Katie Ledecky is going to be one of the flag bearers. Obviously, we had LeBron and Simone Biles. Was it Simone Biles, right?
No.
Yeah. No, it was... can't remember her name.
All I can remember is...
Coco Gauff.
Coco Gauff, the tennis player. Yeah. But Katie Ledecky will be the flag bearer, the female flag bearer, during the closing ceremonies for the Americans, and the gold medal winning rower Nick Mead will be the other flag bearer. This guy's funny. He says, quote, "I've got chills. That's pretty cool. I got to get a haircut." My mom's going to be watching.
Ready for your close-up.
I
didn't plan for this. I got to get cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah. But there you go. That's what's in theaters and on the boob tube this weekend. Might try to go see Deadpool and Wolverine. Now that the initial ravenous, desire to go see it has waned a little bit, and there's less crowds. Might be time to go check that out in theaters, Shaw. You got big plans? You going to do anything? Grill out? You going to be hanging with the wife? You going out with the kids? What do you got going on?
Actually, we're going to go to the Twin Cities to celebrate my mother's 87th birthday.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You having like a little get-together at her spot, or are you taking her somewhere? Or?
No, we're going to do a little picnic-style lunch at her place, and I think most of the kids are going to be there, and so it'll be nice.
Very cool. What's on the menu?
Pulled pork.
Oh,
that's one of my mom's favorites. And some kind of, I don't know, pasta salad or potato salad or something, and some kind of a lemon cake, I guess.
How are you not fatter? Everything you're describing is what I eat, and I'm giant, and you're just so minuscule. What the hell?
I don't know.
How do you get away with it? It's because you only eat very...
Tomorrow's her actual birthday.
All right. Three-way now with Shaw in the newsroom. What else happening?
Wisconsin man has been convicted in a wrong-way drunk driving crash that killed 4 siblings last year. 48-year-old Scott Farmer of Neenah pleaded no contest to 4 counts of homicide by intoxicated use of a motor vehicle in connection with the December 16th crash. Police said Farmer was driving the wrong way on a highway when his truck crashed into an SUV in Waiawega. The crash killed the SUV driver, 25-year-old Daniel Gonzalez, his brother, 23-year-old Fabian Gonzalez, and their sisters, 14-year-old Lillian Gonzalez and 9-year-old Daniela Gonzalez. The 4 siblings were the children of Kurt Schilling, a pastor at a church in Wapaka, and his wife. They say Farmer had a blood alcohol content of 0.34, more than 4 times Wisconsin's legal limit for driving. Because this man had previous drunk driving convictions, his legal limit was 0.02%. La Crosse will ban camping in city parks, the latest effort to deal with the homelessness problem. But the city did not tell the homeless where they could go. The city was to consider a list of some 10 possible locations where the homeless could be allowed to stay, including a number of city parks, as well as a motel on French Island. But the council made no decision on that. Under a previously adopted rule, the homeless would be allowed in city parks, but would have to move to a new spot at least 500 feet away every 12 hours. A common scam caused a Rochester woman to lose her life savings. The woman, whose name has not been released, got a notification from Microsoft, supposedly it was fake, on her computer with a number that she was to call. The woman then called that phone number, and they told her that some child pornography had been downloaded to her computer, but that Microsoft would take care of it. In a moment of panic, the woman followed the scammer's instructions, withdrawing thousands of dollars to put into Bitcoin and also sharing her confidential information. Most of the credit card charges have been eliminated, but there isn't much the bank or police can do about the money from her checking account, about $45,000. Police say you should never give out your personal information and should always do a fact check. The 19th annual Irish Fest celebration kicking off in La Crosse later today. They say the Irish-themed festival has an economic impact of about $1.5 million for the La Crosse community. The opening ceremonies for Irish Fest will occur at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
By the way, if you have any kind of Irish ancestry in your family,
yes,
and you're interested, the Genealogy Tent is a really cool way to get started. It's free, first of all. Obviously, you got to pay to get into the festival, but the Genealogy Tent doesn't cost you anything. If they have experts who will sit down with you, and even if you don't have a ton of information, they've got access to, like, you know, the Ancestry.com and some of these other websites, and they can go
get
there
and
get you started, and they can print stuff off. And then I believe this happened a couple of years ago, so I don't know if they still have this relationship, but when I did it a few years ago, you could then take that information and go to the library, the La Crosse Public Library, and they also have access to Ancestry.com, like a free access, so you don't have to pay for it. And you can continue your journey if you want to try to find out more about your family tree. And I know that a lot of people are interested in that kind of stuff. It's really unique and interesting, and again, free, which is another great part.
I just talked to somebody yesterday who did that a couple years ago with their sister. So they went, it was the two of them, and they went in together into the genealogy and found out some cool stuff, had a good time with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you know who your mom and dad are, obviously, and you know who your grandparents are, maybe you know a maiden name, and you can start to see things, and they've got, right there on the website, Shaw, they can look up signatures from Ellis Island and all these other things, and all this, all the military service records, things like that. So it's really neat. Cool.
And when Noah Lyles woke up the other morning, he knew something was wrong. It wasn't just soreness from his 100-meter final on Sunday when he became the first Team USA member to win gold in that event in 20 years. So he told the doctors, and then he found out about a positive COVID-19 test. Lyles did still run in the 200-meter race yesterday, but the impact of the illness became evident after he settled for a bronze medal.
He's got asthma, right? So.
I know he battled it as a child. I don't know if it's still a problem. He ended up falling to the ground in exhaustion and got pushed off of the course in a wheelchair. A runner from Botswana won the gold, while Team USA's Kenny Bednarik of Rice Lake left with the silver medal. Yesterday, it was the second straight Olympics for Bednarik to capture the silver medal in the 200-meter dash.
And 4 years ago, if you tested positive, you had to quarantine for like 10 days. You couldn't see anybody. They had to put your meals underneath the door. You had to be in a different room in your own house with the people you live with, your family, and now you can just go out there and run the 200-meter.
With 70,000 people in attendance.
I'm like, whatever, man. Boy, did we overstep a little bit 4 years ago, maybe?
Lyles was wearing a mask before the race. And
there's a masked shot putter. Did you see this girl? I think it's a gal, right?
Well, they said non-binary, so I don't know if we know.
Sorry. I did not read the article.
COVID?
All I saw was there's a shot putter that had a mask and purple hair.
Yeah, COVID, was that all?
Is that the reason for the mask?
I don't know why the mask. I'm not sure.
All right.
Did you hear any more about the Taylor Swift plot and see any of the videos of the people singing in the streets of Vienna?
No.
Crazy.
Last night.
But they say they prevented a tragedy.
Yeah.
So the teenagers that they arrested or have detained, I guess I should say.
Yeah, they're like, one of them's like 15.
17, I think.
One of them's 15.
19, 17, and 15, by the way. The 19-year-old's plan was to, quote, kill himself and a large number of people at either Thursday or Friday's show. There would have been 65,000 people at each of the 3 concerts, plus 30,000 people outside, as you know, Brian, the Munich Hill, where they, she's scheduled to play 5 shows at Wembley, August 15th through the 20th. The mayor of London says those shows are still on. The 2 older suspects
they're going to ramp up security.
Have connections to ISIS, by the way. Search of the 19-year-old's home found a stockpile of chemicals, explosive devices, detonators, counterfeit. Thank you. Cash. And the 17-year-old recently started working for a company that provided services to the stadium.
Yeah.
So he had insider information.
Access and all that, yeah.
Not too much has been revealed about the 15-year-old, obviously, as a minor, but that is super scary. But a lot of the fans gathering the streets of Vienna to sing her songs and, kind of come together in that horrifying, scary stuff.
Shinedown.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Shinedown with Devil. Radiohead, a couple minutes. Kyle texted in, said $650 counterfish money.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. So Kyle, was that Kyle?
Yeah.
Is perfect in all of the things he does.
Ooh. Somebody's
every day
gets their hair colored, and all of a sudden, switch goes off. Look out! Meow. Kitty's got claws.
Hey, I'm recovering from some vertigo this week. Kyle, give me a break. Standing upright, that's a step in the right direction.
You have a stool over there. You can sit down.
Yeah.
It's not even that funny, honestly. I mean, it doesn't have legs. It wouldn't. You know what I mean? Playing that 6 months from now when you're saying
butt in it at all.
Well, or boner or hole.
Okay.
Or any reference to size. Counterfish money.
It was wrong. I'll give you that, Kyle. It was incorrect.
Corbin also texted in earlier, said he slept with the windows open last night, felt like he was in a morgue. Best sleep ever. Wants to hear some Bad Wolves. Try to get to that.
Me too. That felt good.
Yeah.
All week.
Going to talk racing with Doc later on. Also, Bad News, Happy Music with Shaw at about 8:50 this morning. If you need something, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That, of course, Radiohead with Creep. Your daughters have been babysitting for a long, long time.
That is correct.
Have they ever encountered anything
super scary,
drastic, an emergency situation, maybe a child choking or a fire in the house, something along those lines?
Thankfully, no.
Knock on wood, then. This babysitter in Montana, 15-year-old girl.
Oh, so scary.
Watching her neighbor's kids last month when their house caught fire. She was able to get the 1-year-old, the 3-year-old, and the family dog out of the house, all caught on security camera. Local fire department giving her a hero award earlier this week, along with a $500 check. I think a 15-year-old could use a $500 check right before school.
Right. I'm sure. Scary and was very responsible. And a child herself.
Yeah.
I mean, child herself.
And when I say fire, I mean fire. Like, open the door and there's nothing but flames behind it. I'm not talking about
like a stove
something on the stove and there's a pot. I'm talking fire. You got to see the video. It's crazy. Unbelievable how big that fire was when she opened the door.
I feel like I did what anyone else would do. She is very mature. She has this little motherly instinct in her that is amazing. She's really good with her younger sisters, and she is my little partner forever.
Oldest of her siblings says she feels like she did what anybody else would have done. Her name is Savannah Strother, S-T-R-O-T-H-E-R. At the neighbor's house early July, babysitting 1-year-old Aaliyah and 3-year-old Bryson. Massive fire broke out between the family's home and the home next door. So they must have like a twindo or something like that. Flames quickly spreading. Where Savannah and the children were, the teen acted without hesitation, grabbing the 1-year-old and then opening the door, and you see the fire, and she just quickly grabs the 3-year-old by the shirt and starts dragging his ass out. Yeah, the dramatic footage all captured on home security camera. Aaliyah cradled in her arms, Bryson firmly holding onto her hand.
Not going anywhere.
Opening the front door, revealing the flames outside, leading the children to safety, and then, again, able to save the dog as well. And now she's got a $500 check and
she's a hero.
Recognized as a hero by the local fire department.
Oof.
Yeah. Again, the video, my description of it does not do it justice. When you see this young girl open that door and the flames are just, we're talking floor to ceiling here, and she's just standing there right in front of it.
Baby and all dragging a toddler.
Wild stuff. So, a hero right there in Montana named Savannah. Get to Scott Robert Shaw in a couple of minutes for another three-way. Get to some Daughtry, and if you need anything, get in touch with us, rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
We see that they wanted to do the attack outside the stadium. We arrested the 19-year-old guy, a 17-year-old Austrian guy, and we got also to the information that the younger guy, a 15-year-old Austrian citizen, is also involved in the plannings to attack the concert.
Dude, so scary. So
crazy.
Scary.
Looking to do maximum amounts of damage. Again, as Gene mentioned, one of the children, essentially, one of these guys that have been arrested in connection with the terror plot against Taylor Swift, got a job working for the stadium.
Yeah.
And they had access to get into places and set these bombs and find out where they could do the most damage and just be able to walk around without anybody thinking anything because, oh, that's so-and-so. They work here, you know?
They just wanted to kill a massive amount of people. I mean, that was their plan. I don't care if I kill myself and a large number of people. That's what he basically told police. I was willing to be a suicide, bomber or murderer or whatever, just to take out as many people as I possibly could.
Pledged support to ISIS, and luckily they unraveled this plot before it could be carried out because the potential for destruction there was massive.
Ugh.
But how does a kid, right? I mean, you're talking 15, 17, 19, these are kids.
Well, look at the Boston bombing suspects. Yeah. I mean, the two kids, they were two brothers and they were in their teens, right? The one of them, I think, may have been 20. Or in his early 20s, but the younger brother, influenced heavily by his older brother, obviously, like kind of under his wing and, under his command and control. And, they watch, they spend all their time on the internet. They find, a lot of misinformation or, they get radicalized by these videos that are out there and these websites. And they start believing stuff that may not be true. And the next thing you know.
Well, apparently they've made a confession and they can at least investigate all of the ties to all the places and see if there's anything, the foiled plot, thankfully. But
right. But you said they found chemicals and other potential explosives. And
that's correct.
They had the potential to actually carry out an attack.
And
this was not just some daydreaming.
Got a job there purposefully, right? They were trying to be on the grounds. Apparently they had tickets to the other two had tickets to the show.
And they were all born in Austria, right? I think.
At least two
with either Turkish, North Macedonian, or Croatian heritage.
Apparently,
is what I read.
Besides the bomb, they were planning to drive a car into the crowd of concert goers because there's always people outside as well.
Right.
In addition to the bomb, launching an attack with knives and machetes into the crowd who was standing outside of the stadium. In addition to the explosive device that they were planning to put inside of the facility with a kid who worked inside. So,
they had a plan.
Ugh.
Crazy.
Scary.
Three-way with Shaw in the newsroom. What else is happening?
Well, the Nia Tao murder trial in La Crosse is about to enter its fifth day. Tao is being tried for a second time for a triple murder that happened in 2021 at a quarry in West Salem. He was, the first trial ended with a hung jury, so he's being retried. Tao's attorney claims another man, Cam Radensack, was actually responsible for the murders, but prosecutors say it was Tao who pulled the trigger. Radensack has already been found guilty in connection with the case and is serving a life sentence. He will be in court today to testify for the prosecution. It's unclear when the defense will begin presenting its case. A body was found yesterday afternoon outside a mobile home in the town of Shelby, and police are calling that death suspicious. Police got a call yesterday in reference to a body located outside of a residence behind All-Star Lanes off Mormon Coulee Road. They are still working to determine the cause of death. 80 years after his death, a former La Crosse man will be buried in the area. Sergeant Jack Holfeld, a native of La Crosse and Trempealeau, survived the Bataan Death March in World War II, but died while being held captive in a Japanese POW camp in the Philippines. Holfeld was buried in a mass grave. His remains were only recently identified. A visitation honoring Jack's life will be held August 26th at St. Patrick's Parish in Onalaska. A procession to the Catholic Cemetery on Losey Boulevard will follow. He will be buried with full military honors. The YMCA in La Crosse getting recognition from Uncle Sam for its program to help young people and their families be fed during the summer vacation. The Food Access Program at the local Y was visited by employees from the U.S. Department of Agriculture yesterday who had high praise for the effort. The Summer Y program in La Crosse can feed 900 children a day, a total of 250,000 meals throughout the summer. Quite a scare for the U.S. men's Olympic basketball team. Team USA had to surge back from 17 points down in a rally to defeat a valiant effort from Serbia.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, Shaw, this was not in the first quarter. We're talking late in the game, like fourth quarter. They were still
well into
down.
the fourth quarter they were down.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid really was the difference late. He played one of his finest games against Nikola Jokic. He had 19 points and really led that late rally in the second half. LeBron James delivered only the fourth triple-double in Olympic history. He had 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. A big game from Steph Curry as well, 36 points, 9 of 14 from deep, and his 2 free throws sealed the victory.
Just got a text from Melissa. Jean has been struggling with her vertigo this week, Shaw.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
she got some
missed work earlier this week and has been doing these weird couch flip-flop, flip jams, Olympic exercises.
Well, it's like a 45-degree angle like this, and then you quickly lay down on the opposite way that you're, and then you everything spins,
organize
and
your
you
crystals.
wait until you're done spinning, and then you sit back up and do it on the other side.
Sounds terrible.
It's not fun.
Melissa says in her text, she says, not sure if Jean has chronic vertigo or not, but my dad was recommended, it looks like Harney? Yeah, Harney, Harney and Sons. Jesus Christ. Can you just make it pronounceable?
What is it?
For Christ's sake.
Is it a med?
Hold on. Rooibos. Rubus? Good Lord.
Okay.
It's some kind of tea. Harney and Sons,
Oh, it's a tea.
To deal with his weekly bouts. He hasn't had vertigo in the past year. He's been taking it. He has a cup right in the morning. She said, I just experienced it for the first time this year myself. That stuff stinks. So I've been trying to recommend it and mention it to anyone that mentions they have had vertigo. I have to go into work now, so I can't listen anymore. But if you have any follow-up questions for me, feel free to ask. Love you guys. Thanks, Melissa.
All right, I'll look into it.
Rooibos. How would you pronounce that, Sean?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right?
Rooibos?
It's not just me.
No. It's
your goddamn word
too many
sucks.
vowels.
Make it a word that's pronounceable. What the hell does that even mean?
Rooibos.
Is that a root or something? Some kind of weird root that grows in the Panamanian jungle?
I don't know.
That I've never heard of?
I'm looking into it.
Is it even a legit word?
Yes. Well, it's a legit
Maybe it's a
tea.
typo.
It's a legit tea, I'll tell you that.
Well, name it something pronounceable, for Christ's sakes. Never even seen that before.
I haven't either.
Oh, that's frustrating for me.
Is it for you?
Wow. Imagine you got to go in the store and try and tell this guy this thing. You know, hey, can you find me the tea? Guy's like, oh, yeah, sure. It's in the tea aisle. Thanks.
Get away from me, weirdo.
Rooibos. Harney and Sons.
Okay.
Is what Melissa recommends.
High quality tea of great value. I don't know what
Does it have any?
Not that
is
I
it like
can
ayahuasca? Is it got some kind of properties in it that you don't know about?
I don't know. I don't think
What makes it so special?
On Amazon, so I don't think it's got any kind of.
All right. You don't need a prescription for that? Nirvana in a couple of minutes. Sports as well. Right now, Daughtry, it's Pieces.
Rock Mornings on 95.7 The Rock.
Rock Mornings with Nirvana, the man who sold the world. NFL action continuing last night. We had the Hall of Fame game not too long ago, but week one in the NFL preseason kicked off last night with the Patriots over the Panthers, 17-3. Giants over the Lions last night as well, 14-3. After a week of joint practices where those guys beating the crap out of each other and getting fined by the NFL, they got on the field together and hashed it out. Tonight, you've got the Texans at the Steelers. That game is at 6 o'clock on the NFL Network. Tomorrow, the Bears are at Buffalo at noon. That game also on the NFL Network. And the Vikings will be hosting the Raiders tomorrow at 3 o'clock. That game also on the NFL Network. And the Packers are in Cleveland tomorrow afternoon to take on the Browns. That's a 3:25 p.m. kickoff. The Brewers hit every single home run in the history of the world yesterday, all 6 of them. 6 home runs. Jackson Chourio, listening on the stereo, according to Snoop. He hit two two-run home runs, 16-7 win yesterday over the Braves, sweeping Atlanta.
6 home runs. Very exciting game to be at.
At home against Cincinnati tonight at 7:10. I think tonight's actually the 2-for-1 beer night, right? Yeah, the 9th. The first home, because they were in Atlanta yesterday, so yeah. So that's tonight, the 2-for-1, I think. Right? Yeah. Team USA surging back from 17 points down to beat Serbia yesterday, 95-91 in the Olympic semifinal. Team USA now going to face France tomorrow at 2:30 in the gold medal game. White Sox fired their manager, Pedro Grifol. 21-game losing streak. That'll do it to you.
Yeah, well.
They named the former All-Star outfielder Grady Sizemore as their interim manager / replacement.
We need help or a plan or something new. And
Katie Ledecky,
gonna hold the flag,
who became the U.S.'s most decorated Olympic female athlete of all time during the Paris Games, will share flag-bearing duties during the closing ceremonies with gold medal winning rower Nick Mead. Ledecky said in a video posted on social media saying, quote, "Thank you, Team USA. This is a huge honor. I can't wait for closing ceremony. It's been an honor representing our country here in Paris. I'm so proud to be part of this team." Mead, who was part of the American men's 4 rowing team that won its first ever gold medal in the, not first ever, but the first gold medal in the event since the 1960 Rome Games, said, "I've got chills. Oof. That's pretty cool. I got to get a haircut." Priorities, man. You got to have them.
Billie Eilish, Snoop Dogg, and Red Hot Chili Peppers, I guess.
Oh, Snoop? Really? Is he going to actually perform?
I think so.
Well, they're paying him enough. $500,000 a day, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's pre-taped stuff or live stuff, but it'll be part of the
closing ceremonies on Sunday at 7 o'clock on NBC. Next hour, we'll talk racing with Doc, as long as the phones continue to work.
Mm-hmm.
Also going to get to some Pearl Jam in a few minutes, and if you want to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com. Got another text about your vertigo. Rose texted in and said there are a few of those teas that come up on the Woodman's app, so they may have a few of them there. Good luck. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Melissa, for the info. That Pearl Jam's next.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings, Brian, Gene, and Shaw. That is Pearl Jam Wreckage. You know me, Shaw. I'm not a fan of these TikTok millennial people trying to tell you what to do, what to eat. Mm-hmm. The latest suggestion from these TikTokers is tomato ice toast. Have you heard of this?
No, I've not.
I think I might have.
So avocado toast was a thing. It's still a thing, obviously. It's pretty popular.
Do you like you use a cheese grater to shred a frozen?
Yeah, so you freeze a tomato, and then you take a cheese grater, Shaw, and you toast some toast up.
Okay.
And then you basically grate the frozen tomato onto the toast, and then you eat it.
Why does it have to be frozen? Why can't I just put a piece of tomato on toast?
You can.
Okay.
The ones I've seen...
Because then it wouldn't be tomato ice toast, then it'd be tomato toast.
Yeah.
You got to have the ice in there. You got to freeze it. So it's supposed to look like shredded cheese, right? But it's tomato.
It's more small than that. At least the ones I've seen, it's more like... looks like a slushy crostini? Almost. It's like real fine. The one I saw had like burrata, Shaw, so it was the mozzarella,
like
and they pulled it apart in a bowl, and then it had the shredded on the top of it, so it was like a coolish summertime, the cheese and the cold tomato.
So we're
I didn't
freezing
see the
tomatoes
toast.
And we're grating them. Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing.
I haven't done it yet, but yes.
But tomato ice toast.
I'm so excited for this. Okay, we're going to rub with a bit of basil. Burrata.
Basil.
I feel like it melts so quick. Okay, my thoughts are it's going to be too much like a dessert with like the frozenness of it. And I typically like tomatoes very juicy and not cold. So let's see. Cheers. My sensitive teeth there. I kind of love it. I thought you wouldn't be able to taste the tomato. You can taste it. It's just quite subtle. But do I prefer just a pan con tomate? Yes, probably.
So there's that.
Tomato.
Basil. Not basil. Basil's Expedition. Yeah, it looks almost like shredded, not shredded Parmesan, but like grated Parmesan cheese, Shaw, but it's red and it's obviously a frozen tomato, but Tomato ice toast is the new thing, Shaw. So when your kids come home and start asking for that, make sure you got some frozen tomatoes.
Sure. Got a freezer full of them right now.
No, thanks.
Have they ever had fresh tomatoes? You know, they're pretty good.
I know, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Come in all sorts of different varieties and colors.
Yeah. Like heirloom ones that were like real dark, and then there was a yellow one and whatever that were from the farmer's market.
I worked at a restaurant years ago, and we had a tomato salad. It was delicious. It was, we would get from local farms, you'd get several different varieties, the heirlooms and all that, and then yellows and oranges and reds, and they all have kind of different quality. And you'd take a big, huge, honking slice of that thing, and then you put it on the plate. There'd be some, basil leaves, and then some
balsamic.
No, mozzarella cheese, and then balsamic over it, and then it was fantastic.
Caprese salad, delicious.
Kind of like that, yeah. But it was like a deconstructed version, I guess, if you will. But yeah, no, it was good. Not going to freeze any tomatoes though. Not doing that, Shaw.
Might get some at the farmer's market.
Plenty of those.
Mm-hmm.
Very cloudy here in downtown. Are we getting rain, or what's the sitch here?
No rain. No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not rain in the
clouds.
forecast until the slight chance on Wednesday. So we're going to be dry.
All right, but looks like cloudy this morning, up into the low 70s for a high today. And
Very
then
comfortable.
Going to be up near 80 again by Sunday. What's the latest?
La Crosse will ban camping in city parks, the latest effort to deal with the city's homelessness problem. But the city did not tell the homeless where they could go, just where they can't. The city was to consider a list of possible locations where the homeless would be allowed to stay, including a number of city parks, as well as a motel on French Island and the old fire station on Monitor Street. But the city made no decisions on that. Under a previously adopted rule, the homeless would be allowed in city parks, but would have to move to a new spot at least 500 feet away every 12 hours. A Wisconsin man has been convicted in a wrong-way drunk driving crash that killed 4 siblings last year. Scott Farmer of Nita pleaded no contest to 4 counts of homicide by intoxicated use of a motor vehicle in connection with the crash that happened on December 16th. Farmer was driving the wrong way on a highway when his truck crashed into an SUV in Wyowega. The crash killed the SUV's driver, his brother, and their 2 sisters, ages 14 and 9. Farmer had a blood alcohol content of 0.346, more than 4 times the legal limit for driving. A man who broke into a home in Eau Claire, stole a gun, and then beat a woman with that gun is now heading to prison.
Was it the woman who owned the house, or just some random woman? Or
I believe they knew each other.
Okay.
A judge in Eau Claire yesterday sentenced Mitchell Henke to 3 years in prison. Police launched a week-long search for Henke after the assault, and they eventually found him in Oshkosh. Prosecutors say Henke beat the woman in front of her 2-year-old child. He will serve 3 years of probation after his prison sentence.
Hey, I just got a message from someone on Facebook. Says the La Crescent girls flag football team will be playing at halftime of the Vikings game on Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yeah, so the Vikings are hosting the Raiders up there at the bank.
Yes, they are.
And the La Crescent girls flag football team going to play at halftime.
Well, that's cool.
So that's cool. We'll be on the lookout for them if you're headed to the game tomorrow. That's neat.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And should be perfect weather for today's kickoff of Irish Fest in La Crosse. It is the 19th annual celebration of all things Irish, with Irish food, music, and games, all being held at the Oktoberfest grounds. The opening ceremonies will be held at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Irish Fest runs through Sunday.
3-Way with Shaw in the newsroom. We'll get to bad news, happy music a bit later on. How are we looking?
Well, a warning not to smear poo on your face.
We need to have a warning for that?
Yeah.
Let me guess, it's TikTok related?
Yeah. No, don't do that.
Shocking. All the stupid people are on TikTok.
Don't do that.
Including the poop smearing face people, right?
I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, like I said, all the stupid people
now.
are on TikTok.
Reel it in.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I think instead of shooting the dumb people to Mars, I want to go to Mars and get away from the dumb people on Earth. Can we do that?
Sure, there's no air there, but
that's fine. I'll be whatever. It'll end this misery that I have to live through. Poop smearing people on Facebook and TikTok. We're supposed to be the top of the food chain. What are we doing? We're smearing poop on our face.
We'll find out more.
Are the animals doing it too?
Well, they roll around in it.
Yeah, I know that, but they're animals.
Maybe there's something there.
I got a dog that does that. Any kind of
Yes,
squirrel poop we
gross.
can find in
Yes.
the backyard is eating it. All right. We're just getting back to our roots. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rock Mornings on your rock station.
Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene with the Chili Peppers, Danny, California.
Definitely cloudy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No rain, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be sprinkling. I saw somebody with their windshield wipers on. We've got another three-way with Shaw to get to, plus bad news, happy music. Doc will join us to talk racing a bit later on. Get to our daily check-ins as well. If you want to get in contact with us, you can go to rockmornings.com. Doc texted in and said, are the phones going to work today, or do I need to tape this? I think we'll go. We'll probably do a trial run here. We'll probably try to call Doc here in a bit, see if it works. Again, thanks to Rose, who said that some of those teas that Melissa recommended.
I've never heard of that for vertigo, so thanks for the information.
Woodman's. Yeah, it couldn't hurt. I mean, you're flip-flopping like a dead fish on a couch over there.
I'm doing what I can, Brian. I'm doing what I can.
So maybe the tea will help.
I could. Can't hurt?
Well, I suppose if it's available in stores, it should be okay. Chad wanted to hear that Volbeat earlier. We did that. Corbin wanted to hear some Bad Wolves. We'll try to get to that in a couple of minutes as well. So again, get in touch with us. Visit rockmornings.com for our contact info.
More of your Rock Mornings coming up in just a bit.
Godsmack on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That is I Stand Alone.
Who was born today? Who was?
Well, she was born on this day in 1963, but she died in 2012. Would have been 61 today. Hell of a voice. Whitney Houston. Sang perhaps the greatest rendition of the national anthem of all time. The All-Star Game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of agrees on that one.
Whitney Houston would have been 61 today. Born on this day in 1963. Also celebrating a birthday today, still alive, Bill Skarsgård. He, of course, Pennywise the Clown from the It remake.
Well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Pennywise? Yes, meet Georgie. Georgie, meet Pennywise. Now we're on strangers, aren't we?
Yeah. Very creepy. Also, going to be starring in the remake of The Crow, which comes out, I think, in September, maybe late August. I'm not watching it. It looks like garbage.
It does look like garbage?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but you can't improve on perfect. And the original Crow film starring Brandon Lee was perfect. So I don't know why they're bothering.
Well, because they remake things all the time for a new generation.
It's stupid. Our good buddy Lee Kakati, lead singer of Pop Evil, is 47 today. Happy birthday, Lee. Got to know him over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Gillian Anderson, 56.
Oh, that's funny. Wasn't
special? It was Duchovny's birthday earlier this week.
Earlier this week.
Dana Scully on X-Files. Gillian Anderson, 56. Turning 66 years old today, Amanda Burse. You might remember her as Marcy Darcy, the neighbor on Married with Children. Her name's going to be Julia Gulia. Yeah, Marcy Darcy from Married with Children. Amanda Burse, 66 today. Your boy shares on again, off again biker boyfriend from Mask. The stranger in The Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
Also Wade Garrett in the original Roadhouse. Sam Elliott. How old do you think Sam Elliott is today?
Probably older than I want him to be. 73.
80.
80.
Sam Elliott is 80.
I don't know about you, but I take comfort in that. It's good knowing he's out there.
The dude.
Taking her easy for all us sinners.
How about one of them sarsaparillas?
Mm-hmm.
Sam Elliott, 80 years old today. Robert Shaw, not our Scott Robert Shaw, the actual Robert Shaw. Born on this day in 1927, died in 1978. You know him best as Quint from Jaws.
You go inside the cage. Cage goes in the water. You go in the water. Shark's in the water.
Our shark.
Our shark.
August 9th, 1936, 88 years ago, speaking of the Olympics, Jesse Owens put it right up in Hitler's big, stupid Nazi face.
Yes, he did.
By leading the U.S. 400-meter relay team to gold at the Berlin Olympics, becoming the very first person to ever win 4 gold medals. And he was black. And Hitler was very upset about that. Good for Jesse Owens. 80 years ago today, 1944, the Forest Service and Wartime Advertising Council unleashed their brand new fire prevention spokesperson, Smokey the Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Speaking of Sam Elliott. 79 years ago today, 1945, 3 days after the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, the United States did another one over Nagasaki, killing an estimated 74,000 people. 1969, pregnant actress Sharon Tate, along with coffee heiress Abigail Folger and 4 others, found murdered in the home that Tate shared with her husband at the time, Roman Polanski. That was the Manson murders, yes. 1985, 39 years ago today, somebody took his bike and he went on a big adventure to find it.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure in theaters on this day in 1985. 4 years later, 1989, The Abyss in theaters.
Come on, breathe, baby. God damn it, breathe. God damn it, you bitch! You never backed away from anything in your life. Now fight! 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 Right now! Do it! Fight! God damn it!
I love that movie. I love it so much. It's so great. Aliens underwater. He's like going down to the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the ocean.
You don't like the ocean.
I know. There was no sharks in it, though. It wasn't about sharks.
It was about
the aliens. They were saving us, man. 33 years ago today, 1991, Jean-Claude Van Damme, not once, not...
Okay.
It was so nice, you had to have him twice. It was double impact.
You, of all people, should know I would never in my life wear black silk underwear.
Yes. There were twins. 2 of them. 1995, 29 years ago today, Grateful Dead lead stoner Jerry Garcia died of a heart attack while undergoing drug rehab in San Fran. He was only 53 at the time. 1 year later, 96, Kurt Russell reprised his role as Snake Plissken from the movie Escape from New York. This time he was escaping from L.A. It was not good.
Escape from L.A.?
Not good.
I'm not a fool, Pliskin.
Call me Snake. Call me Snake. It did have Peter Fonda and Pam Grier and Bruce Campbell, but even they couldn't save that movie. It was a disaster. Peter Fonda rode some kind of crazy wave, like some huge giant tidal wave. I don't know. It was really weird. And in 2008, 16 years ago today, Bernie Mac died unexpectedly of a heart failure during a bout of pneumonia. He was only 50 at the time.
It don't take no all night to get no orgasm. 3 minutes. That's all I'm giving you. That's all the I got. I'm telling it is. 3 minutes. That's a heavyweight 1-round bout. And people done got knocked out in the first goddamn round.
Bernie Mac, 50 at the time of his death.
Yeah.
So funny. You ever watch the original King's Comedy? Bernie Mac and Cedric the Entertainer,
but
Steve Harvey?
It's probably been a very long time.
So
good.
Steve Harvey was messing with some guy in the front row.
I like Steve Harvey.
And he was like, what do you do for a living? The guy's like, computer school. And Steve Harvey's like, and of course the crowd reacts and they're fun. And he pauses. It's great timing. It's wonderful timing. Comedic timing is great. And he's like, I think the guy's name was Boogie or something. He's like, Boogie, you could have said anything. And in your stupid little brain, he's like, the one thing that popped up was computer school. Like, I asked you what you did for a living, and you said computer school. Oh, so funny. There you go. Some stuff that happened on August 9th. Also some birthdays. We'll get to Shaw in a few.
Rock Mornings. On air, online, on the app.
Rock Mornings. Brian, Gene, Scott Robert Shaw in the newsroom. Just showing Gene clips from the original Kings of Comedy. Steve Harvey. Mm-hmm. Making fun of Boogie in the front row. Boogie, you can't spell technology. Oh, so funny. Have you ever seen that?
I think so. A long time ago, I think.
God. So funny. Bernie Mac would have been his birthday today. He died when he was he died on this day when he 14 years ago when he was 50 years old. Had heart failure when he had pneumonia.
He'd been sick, yeah.
Yeah, and he was in the original Kings of Comedy, and it just reminded me of that scene where Steve Harvey was making fun of the guy who left during the show. They're trying to film this big, huge special, this massive special that they were going to release on DVD, and this guy just gets up in the middle of the show and leaves, and he's making fun of him, and comes back to his seat and asks the guy what he does for a living. He says, computer school. I was showing Gene the video. Definitely one of my favorite of all time in terms of comedy specials.
Mm-hmm.
I could watch that pretty much any day of the week and get a good laugh out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I know all the jokes and heard them a million times, it's still really funny. That one in The Pimp Chronicles from Cat Williams. Oh,
you like
get you some white friends. You're going to need those white friends. That one, Bill Burr, obviously. Dave Chappelle. Love those guys. Can I say that now, or am I going to get canceled?
I don't think so.
All right. So are we allowed to like things again? Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's going on in the real world, Shaw?
Well, Debbie's final chapter involves moving north and northeast from the Carolinas at a faster clip with soaking rains, flash flooding, and the threat of tornadoes over the weekend. They say parts of New York and New England will see significant rain that could cause dangerous flooding. The South Carolina town of Moncks Corner was hit early today by flash flooding. From eastern Virginia up to Vermont, an active stretch of tornadoes is also possible today. Tornadoes spawned by Debbie have leveled homes and damaged the school. The death toll from the storm is now risen to 8.
See that Arby's?
No.
There's an Arby's that was in the path of Debbie.
Underwater?
No, all of the insides are outside.
Oh.
Everything that was in the store is in the parking lot. All the couches and chairs and booths and everything. It's crazy. I was
a tornado, huh?
Yeah. Wow. I was like, what the hell happened? Did they get looted or something? But I think the hurricane ripped it all out and sent it out in the parking lot.
Crazy. In Austria, they've announced a third arrest in connection with that foiled conspiracy to attack 3 now-canceled Taylor Swift concerts. The main suspect, a 19-year-old, planned to target onlookers gathered outside the stadium, up to 30,000 people a night, with another 65,000 inside the venue with knives or homemade explosives during the concert yesterday or today. The suspect hoped to kill as many people as possible. He was taken into custody along with a 17-year-old. Meanwhile, the third suspect, an 18-year-old Iraqi citizen, was arrested last night. A 15-year-old was also interrogated but has not been arrested. La Crosse will continue to ban camping on city property. The city council voted last night to prohibit camping in parks after voting recently to enforce a strict time limit if it is allowed. Councilmember Aaron Goggins says people in La Crosse seem to be less accepting of homeless encampments on city-owned land after seeing what has happened in the past.
We've heard over the years about NIMBY, not in my backyard. I think it's collectively becoming the city, not in my city.
Council also voted specifically against allowing camping again in Houska Park. Winter and summer camping was permitted at Houska a few years ago, which led to property damage and large amounts of garbage. Mark Newman of the council would like to see other levels of government help manage homelessness.
I don't think we have that resource. I wish that other levels of government who have much bigger resources available to them would take up the call. It could be the state, and it certainly could be our national government.
An overflow crowd of citizens filled the city council chambers for about 2 hours last night as the council debated the homeless situation. Noah Lyles lost the Olympic 200 meters, falling to Botswana's Leslie Tebego, then collapsed on the track and had to be carted off in a wheelchair. He told reporters he had COVID. After crossing the line third, he fell to his back and lay there in pain, down for about 30 seconds. Elsewhere at the Olympics, Sydney McLean-Levrone broke her own record and won gold again in the women's 400.
Yeah, for the 6th time.
Yes, I know.
She just keeps breaking her own record.
Grant Holloway and Daniel Roberts went 1 and 2 for the U.S. in the 110 hurdles. Tara Davis-Woolhall of the U.S. won gold in the long jump.
I got a text from our buddy Scooter Gibbs. He said it was a Hardee's. They don't have Arby's that far down south with the high-class beefs. It is an Arby's. I'm watching the news report right now.
It says it right there.
Moncks Corner, Shaw. Which
completely
is
destroyed.
Where this is, and I think it's in Georgia. And yeah, it's an Arby's. There's an Arby's there. And all of the booths and chairs and everything are in the parking lot.
Framing.
Ripped right through it. Scooter Gibbs trying to
Scooter's incorrect.
Yeah.
He's correcting you with incorrect information.
Said the Hardys got taken out last week. Check the fact. All I know is I'm watching this. It's from 2 days ago, and it says Monk's Corner Arby's damaged during Tropical Storm Debbie.
There could have been a Hardee's that was destroyed.
Maybe there was
too.
also a Hardee's that got destroyed, but this is an Arby's. This is the one I'm talking about. Shut up, Scuba Jibs, whatever your stupid name is. Says nobody cares. This guy's just looking to get me to talk about him. He wants me to talk about him on the radio. That's what it is. That's all they care about. They want to hear their name on the radio so they can tell their friends.
Next week.
They're like, hey, Brian, did you hear Brian talking about you on the radio?
He incorrectly corrected you.
Yeah. Well, be careful because he has an infectious disease. I don't know what it is yet, but it causes itching.
Stop talking about it. Is it hair loss, too? Is it random patches of hair loss?
It only causes hair loss from your bum cheeks.
Is that where it is?
If you touch Scooter Jibs, who's the lead singer or the front man for the Weathered Pigs, if you touch him, then all of the hair on your butt cheeks will fall out. But just on your butt cheeks.
That's how it works with him?
That's how it works with him.
Okay.
That's how he is.
One of his nostrils is way bigger.
One of his four nostrils is way bigger than the other three. Yes.
Scooter, I know him.
Yeah. They call him the French pole vaulter around here.
Around these parts?
Around these parts.
Around these parts?
Yeah, well, it's very round, those parts. Offspring now. Doc is going to join us next.
Rock Mornings with Brian, Gene, and Shaw.
Rock Mornings, Brian and Gene, the Offspring. The kids aren't all right. It's about 8:25 on a Friday morning during NASCAR season. That means one thing and one thing only. We're joined on the phone by the Mid-Pack legend, Mr. Technicality, Car 54, Billy Doc Niles, a.k.a. Captain Retirement, a.k.a. hashtag Mr. Fister, a.k.a. hashtag this guy.
Happy July.
Happy 4th of July is how that's supposed to go. Hashtag this guy.
I'm kind of anal.
He is kind of anal. Hashtag this guy.
He's got it locked on the rock. He's listening to the doc.
Hashtag this guy.
You're getting a thrill by listening to Bill.
Hashtag this guy.
He gets to stay on the box.
Yes, he does get to stay on that box. Hashtag this guy.
Going to have to come from the back.
Oh, gonna have to come. Hashtag this guy.
Whoa, what am I touching here?
Whoa, what are you touching here, Doc? What do you got in your hands?
Well, you can hear it right here. I got the car keys. As soon as I get done talking with you guys, it's a morning full of doctor appointments today. So
I don't like that.
Touching the car keys right now.
All right. Well, I hope everything goes well at the doctor's office. We have got NASCAR racing this weekend, or are they still on a break?
Nope. We finally got some NASCAR racing here. We'll do a couple of quick stories here we'll shoot at you. First of all, Christopher Bell, his crew chief, will not be attending the races for quite a few weeks. If you haven't heard, this is kind of funny. You know, these guys go off on their vacations. They take a week of vacation or so. And Stevens was at a swimming pool. He went to jump off the diving board and popped not one but two patella tendons. That's right. His kneecaps were going up his legs. Yep. So they got surgically repaired. He has to keep his legs straight for like 4 to 6 weeks. So he's going to be back at the offices of Gibbs Racing. They're going to have someone else on top the crew box, and he's going to be wired into him. So he'll be giving him instructions of what he wants to do for North Carolina. But unfortunately, some things you just can't avoid. It happens like that. The other thing, the big news we're talking about is we talked about this 3 weeks ago. They're going to have the option tire this weekend now. What spurred this idea is when you remember the race back at Bristol where the tires were getting chewed up so bad that, you know, Denny Hamlin ended up winning the race by conserving his tires. While everybody's going fast, he was kind of just setting a pace. And then when everybody faded off, he had tires left for the end. They experimented with these tires at the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro earlier this year. They liked what they saw, so now what they got is 2 tires for this weekend's race. They got the Prime tire, which is a consistent speed. It's not very fast, but it's a consistent speed. It will last a long time. That's going to have yellow lettering on it. Then if you see a car with red lettering tires on it, that's the new option tire. Very fast right out the gate. I mean, exceptionally fast, but it only lasts about 10 to 20 laps. So you got to figure out what you want there. Do you want short-term speed or do you want long-term speed? Something that crew chiefs are wrestling with, and they're only going to get 2 sets of those tires to use for the race on Sunday. So they have to use them wisely. They are at Richmond this weekend. It's a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval, 14-degree bankings. Chris Buescher won this race last year. Denny Hamlin won the race back in March. Qualifying record set by Jeff Gordon in 2013 at 130.5 miles an hour. Excuse me. Fantasy experts, they like Hamlin, they like Bell, and Truex is getting a lot of love. I think this brake money helped him out. Maybe he'll get a spark under him and finally win a race. When I filled mine out last night, you look at guys who've been running good at Richmond. Larson, Buescher, Logano, and yes, even Bubba Wallace has been running top 10 at this track. Don't be afraid to take a flyer on him if you got a top 10 league you're playing in. VegasInsider.com via the BetMGM app brings us our odds this week. They got Bell at plus 550, Truex and Hamlin at 600, Larson at 750, and Logano at 1,200. Big night at Red Cedar Speedway tonight. Now, lots of stuff going on here. To top it all off, it's the Roger Rick Memorial Race for the Midwest Mods. $1,000 to win that main event for the Midwest Mods tonight. So, going to be a big one for them. Also in action are the late models, the modifieds, the super stocks, the street stocks, and the Red Cedar Hornets. It's also Educators Night. Any teacher, any level, high school, elementary school, college, if you have a valid teacher's ID, you get admitted free into tonight's races. Also, Red Cedar Speedway is going to be helping stock up the Dunn County Humane Society. The big things they need right now: cat chow, dog treats, cat clippers, absorbent paper towels. But anything you bring, blankets, anything, they'll take that as a donation, and they'll put your name in a drawing. And the winner will get 2 tickets to the Punky Manor Challenge at the end of the season. Actually, probably later this fall. Also, if that's not enough, Kids Club members get there early. You're going to get a racing buddy at the Kids Club table. And at 6:15 out on the track, it's the kids' pedal races. So that's going to be exciting. Get your kid there early and get them into that. Gates open at 5. Pedal races at 6:15. Practice at 6:30. First green flag drops at 7 o'clock. Big one tomorrow night at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Remember we talked last week. They had just changed this one up. It is now the Don Dion Memorial tonight. Twin 25 laps. Normally they run 20 lap when they do twin late model features. Twin 25 lap late model features tonight or tomorrow night. Also, first time ever. This is a record for La Crosse late models. $2,500 to win each race. Double features for the late models. Sportsman, Hornets, Street Stocks, and minivans also in action. High School Racing Association back in action, and for the first time ever at La Crosse, they are going to be running double features also. Also, this week's novelty event is the Spin to Win race. Pre-race kids rides will be happening tonight. Plus, the first 100 kids through the gate, they get themselves a NASCAR paper helmet, which is a pretty cool thing, and they get some crayons to color that bad boy up. Gates and qualifying at 5:30. Kids rides at 6:30. First green flag drops at 7. Now, I tell you this, and I know we got people that listen on the stream. They listen all over the country, Wyoming, Florida, Kentucky. There's great racing action in your backyard. You never know where that next NASCAR star could come from. He could be coming from your backyard. So whatever you're doing this weekend, get out and support a local short track. This race report has been brought to you by our friends at County Materials on Empire Street in Holman. That is this week's race report.
DOC joining us each and every Friday during the NASCAR season at about 8:25. We'll get to Bad News, Happy Music next.
Rock Mornings, only on 95.7 The Rock.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
A Friday edition of Bad News with Happy Music. What do we got?
That's not where those go. In Australia, a sexual health organization has issued a recall for condoms that were given out at a number of colleges.
Uh-oh.
What was wrong with them?
They weren't condoms. They were instead lubricated probe covers for medical ultrasound equipment. They had to send a letter that said, if you've received what looks like a condom in the past 6 months, do not use it.
What looks like one, so it looks like one.
It does. It looks like a prophylactic in a little container,
Right, the little package, the little pouch.
It's super not.
But it's super not a condom?
It's super not. No, it goes on medical equipment, apparently. Investigators in Florida searching for a person who was seen taking several adult toys from a sex shop in North Fort Myers, Florida. The theft happened around 2:30 in the morning at the Tender Moments adult store.
No, it's not.
Yes, Tender Moments.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It is not. You can't be serious.
That's the name of the place.
It's a porn store that's called Tender Moments. I guess if you want to get
make it
people
seems
that
not
don't
so,
buy
it's
hardcore stuff to come in.
It's not as scary. There's more tickly pillows and things like that.
Surveillance video shows the person entering the store picking up several different items.
Like what? Like what?
It doesn't say. It just says several different items.
Were they big, small, furry, leather, chains, whips,
tender.
dips,
They were
chips?
Tender
moments.
Yeah. Looking for a tender moment. Police still looking for the guy, by the way.
I want to hear their commercials now. I want to hear that porn store's commercials on the radio.
Tender
moments.
Shop Tender Moments.
Shop Tender Moments.
Anytime.
Bring your grandmother by for a 2-for-1 coupon.
When you're feeling tender.
After bingo, bring grandma by for Tender Moments.
Just join us. It's tender.
We have a full line of Hallmark cards at Tender Moments. Who was stealing it? Just some guy or a sheriff?
No, a guy. They haven't found him yet. They have video footage of him, but they haven't found him. Firefighters found a woman dead, entangled in machinery yesterday.
Oh, no.
In non-public baggage processing area at the O'Hare Airport in Chicago.
So she was in the luggage chute or something like that?
You know that little conveyor belt that takes the luggage that you check in back to the baggage area? Somehow, firefighters were called to the airport around 7:45 in the morning yesterday for a report of a person pinned in machinery that's used to move baggage.
Does she work there?
Well, they don't know. They haven't said. This baggage area was not publicly accessible, so it's not clear how she found her way into it. They do say she was not an airport employee, by the way.
Was she trying to stop terrorists like Bruce Willis in Die Hard 2?
Maybe. The surveillance video shows the woman entering the room at 2:27 a.m. She was not discovered until 7:30 a.m. The footage only shows her walking. It does not show what happened to her.
Stuck in there for 5 hours.
It has been a deadly week at the Grand Canyon. Rangers found the body of a missing person earlier this week, marking the third death at that national park since July 31st. The body of Leticia Castillo of Albuquerque was found 150 feet below an overlook on the canyon's south rim. The Park Service now investigating the death. On August 2nd, the body of a base jumper was found 500 feet, also on the park's south rim. Base jumping is banned in the Grand Canyon, by the way. And on July 31st, an Indiana college student fell to his death near an overlook on the park's south entrance road. His body was recovered the next day. Since January, there have been 11 deaths at the park, including these 3 since July 31st.
Don't you want to look at the Grand Canyon?
Only for a minute.
Right?
Gotta go.
Has anyone checked on Punxsutawney Phil recently? Because he may be going rogue in an effort to bring us 6 more weeks of summer. That may be wishful thinking. But there's a place called the Meadows Family Fun Mini Golf in Duncansville, Pennsylvania. Which
How
is
far
only
away is
about
that?
60 miles from Punxsutawney.
Yeah, but I thought he's in a library full time, like in the off season.
But a random groundhog showed up at this mini golf course. Not in a Caddyshack way. The groundhog showed up inside one of those claw machine arcade games.
No, he didn't.
Yes, a real live groundhog. Nobody knows how the groundhog got in there, but employees quickly called the local game warden as well as a representative from the company that operates the claw machine. They were able to get the groundhog out. The animal was not injured, so they released it back into the wild. It's probably a long shot that it was actually Phil, but hey, it's not impossible.
Don't drive angry. Don't drive angry.
He was driving angry,
He
Shaw.
was.
Had to get to that claw machine.
Exactly.
Man,
Imagine
what's
with his
funny?
little face in there.
What's funnier, the groundhog in there or the kids that get in the arcade that gets
Well,
stuck
we've
in
seen
there?
the kids get stuck in there before, and that's
How do they
always
get
fun.
it?
But
How
I've
do
never
they get
seen
in?
a groundhog get stuck.
But which one would be funnier?
I don't know. If I looked in there and saw that there was a groundhog, that's pretty funny.
Try to claw him, get him out with the claw?
Try and grab him. A 19-year-old woman in Florida facing multiple felonies after she allegedly hospitalized her former boyfriend's new girlfriend, showing up at the boyfriend's home unannounced and stabbing the victim in the chest with a pocket knife Emily Morales was taken into custody and charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
I guess we can find out why they broke up.
Yeah, deputies responded to a home in reference to a stabbing. They located the 22-year-old woman bleeding from what appeared to be a stab wound. They say that she was considered to be in critical condition and needed to undergo emergency surgery. Police found the victim's 26-year-old boyfriend, who explained that he and the victim were in a relationship, hanging out in the kitchen at his mother's home where he lives, when he heard a loud knock on the door, looked through the glass, and was able to see the silhouette of his ex-girlfriend. The victim answered the door, and that's when she was immediately stabbed.
Stab, stab, stab.
Morales then tried to stab the boyfriend as well before she took off running. Police caught up with her and took her to jail, where she's being held without bail.
Hi, Dad. I'm in jail.
Yeah.
Wonder how I got here.
Hi, don't answer the door. Don't answer that.
Shadowy person.
And you look and you see her, don't answer it.
There's a politician in Canada by the name of Doug Ford.
This guy's great.
Who held a news conference the other day to address rumors that people have been pooping in the sand at a lakeside beach near Toronto and then burying it because there aren't enough available bathrooms.
They don't have 100% proof, but we've given Wasaga Beach $1 million. They have no proof that people are pooping in the park, per se. I think people are respectful enough that, folks, don't be pooping on the beach. Simple as that.
Folks, don't be pooping on the beach.
Sound advice.
Pooping in the park.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
can you imagine you run for political office? You're like, man, I'm going to make some real changes. I'm going to do some good for my community. You know, I'm going to really be at the high level of the table here. I'm going to be talking about issues that matter. Hey, people, could we stop pooping on the beach?
Please don't do
and
that.
And covering it up like a cat in a litter box? Can we stop doing that? I was really going to try to help out the mass transit system, maybe balance the budget here, but I got to come down to your level and tell you not to poop on the beach and cover it up.
We have a bathroom for that.
Yes. Pooping on the beach.
And a warning before this story, and in a moment you'll realize why. It's important to remember that a lot of the tips and tricks and hacks you see on social media are totally bogus, and they're just an attempt to go viral.
Yeah.
Yes.
That said, there's a woman on TikTok, a Brazilian model by the name of Debra Piexoto, who's claiming to have a skincare hack that can reverse aging. It's caking her face in her own poo.
No, it is not.
Yeah, she's smearing a makeshift brown mask across her face.
What is she mixing it with?
Nothing.
Just taking the poo and adding some water?
She shared a video that apparently shows her doing it. She pinches her nose closed with a clothespin to avoid the stench, and she leaves it on for several minutes before washing it off. She says it works for her and prevents her skin from flaking. Well, this should go without saying, but experts say you should not smear poo on your face because of obvious reasons.
They do.
And it can make you susceptible to bacterial and viral infections, parasites, and food poisoning.
Why don't you just jump into a porta potty? Save yourself the time and effort. You know, you got everybody. You got a nice little everybody's poop all mixed up, make it super powerful, right, Shaw?
I suppose.
Instead of just your brew, you get everybody else's brew.
I'm the potty pooper.
Yeah, she's a pooper, all right.
No thanks.
On her face, yeah.
No, I'm not. Makes me want to eat my own poop. It's disgusting. Yeah, I don't want to eat my own poop. I don't want to put it on my face either, Shaw.
Everybody's really sick from that restaurant.
But it wasn't the restaurant.
No.
Lillian,
oh, no.
Where are you going?
I need a bathroom.
No. Where are you going?
Dare ruin that
What are you doing? No.
It's happening. It's happening. It happened.
What are you doing?
It happened.
Don't you dare ruin that dress!
If you could just put it in a bag, I could take it home and then spread it on my face.
Yeah, there you go. It's good for my skin.
She also...
If you're already a model, what do you need the poop thing for?
She's not a model. She's just got
wants
followers.
To be a model. Okay.
She's also married to her older cousin, so I don't know.
Oh, snap.
It's just craziness.
Hell yeah. I was playing the wrong music. I didn't realize I was playing the wrong music. Oh.
There you go.
Apparently they don't just do that in Alabama. They do that in Brazil?
I think so, I guess.
No other options, huh? Well, who are you going to marry if you're going to spread poop on your face? Probably your cousin, right? That's right.
Seems about right.
They got a still in the back?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
No?
Yeah.
Stars and bars in the window? They got
There's
one of them?
crazy people everywhere, Shaw.
No? Sal will rise again.
Doing crazy stuff.
What are we doing? Smearing poop on our faces. Bad News, Happy Music, Friday edition. Thank you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of poop there at the end.
Happy birthday to your mother.
Oh, thank you.
87 is quite an accomplishment,
It is indeed,
and she's doing well.
She
and
is.
Have
She's
a big
doing well.
celebration.
Good. I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that, and I hope you have fun. Enjoy that pulled pork. If you have any leftovers, feel free to bring them down here. I will dispose of them properly. Take care of that for you. Our buddy Scooter Gibbs, who was arguing with me earlier about whether or not it was an Arby's or a Hardee's that got destroyed by Hurricane Debbie, has relented and said the information he received was incorrect. He wasn't even getting it firsthand. He was getting it from somebody else. I was watching it right there on the internet.
Somebody was telling him you were wrong, even though he didn't know for sure.
Big, stupid idiot. I didn't love you so much. Yeah.
It's hard not to love a guy with 4 nostrils.
Yeah, and that skin condition that causes you to lose all your bum hair.
Well, that's just the one skin condition that he's getting treated. There's
several others that have been unidentified as of yet. Scooter Gibbs, frontman for the Weathered Pigs, all 90s Alterna rock. One of my favorite local bands. We'll see them next weekend at the Southside Fest grounds here in La Crosse for the Big River Rally. One of the tunes they play is The Refreshments with Banditos.
Rock mornings, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us.
Check.
We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Find us online at rockmornings.com for all of our contact information. Again, thanks to Scooter Gibbs. By the way, that's actually somebody's real foot.
No, thank you.
That he sent us a picture of. Not his, but
it's a real foot.
Yeah. Weathered Pigs. Opening up for Jackal or Buckcherry?
Buckcherry.
Buckcherry on Saturday or Friday.
Friday night.
Friday night next week. Week from tonight, Weathered Pigs and Buckcherry at the Southside Oktoberfest grounds here in La Crosse, part of the Big River Rally. Then Blue Collar 40 and Jackal on Saturday night. Tickets and info online at bigriverrally.com. Got a message on Facebook from Barb. She said, "You were right. Shaw's weather report was wrong. It's raining." We did
Wasn't supposed to.
Well, we got reports of some sprinkles, and wherever Barb is, it's apparently raining.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Barb. Gabriel texted in earlier and said the La Crescent girls flag football team will be playing at halftime of the Vikings game tomorrow.
That was pretty fun information. Thanks for sharing that.
The Raiders. Thank you very much for that information. Appreciate it. Got a text from someone who said they are headed to Duluth for a golf tournament this weekend. Thanks for keeping me occupied on the way up. You're welcome. Thanks for listening. Good luck at the tourney. Hopefully you crush some beers. Did you see the National Night Out was earlier this week, the cop thing?
Yeah.
Right? You go and hang out with the cops and be part of your community, all that. It was all over the country. But I forget where it was. It might have been in Florida. They were trying to simulate it was like a drunk driving simulation, and they were using a golf cart, and apparently it malfunctioned or something happened, and like 4 people got injured, including a kid, during some like simulation of a drunk driving incident with a golf cart that went awry. Good luck with your golf carts. Chad texted in and said, "What the hell is wrong with people smearing crap on their face? Did I hear that right at the end? Married her cousin?" Yes.
Apparently.
You did hear that all correct.
That was correct.
Not only married her cousin, but she was smearing her own poop on her own face.
Apparently.
Wow. She's just trying to get people to follow her on social media so she gets, money, I guess. I don't know. I just wonder how that thought process goes. I've showed my boobs.
I married my cousin. I've done all the things that everybody else does. I've eaten the tomato ice toast. I've done the Tide Pod challenge. Nobody's following me. What can I do to set myself apart from everyone else? I know. I'll smear my own poop on my face. Yes.
And claim that it's a beauty hack. That'll get me in the news. Well, it worked.
It did.
Might die from it. Good luck with that. But you'll be famous for 5 seconds.
Small infection. I mean, no worse than Scooter's foot.
Yeah. Lucas wants to hear some Rammstein. Also got that text earlier from Melissa. Not sure if you had chronic vertigo, suggested that tea that I cannot pronounce.
That was very helpful information.
Apparently her dad has vertigo and has been using that tea, and it works pretty well.
I trust your dad.
And Scooter says the golf cart thing was in New Jersey, jackass. Now I'm right, finally, for once. This guy.
Does he just wait there to correct you? Is that...
Dude, if you think that it's going to go smoothly for you next weekend at your show, you got another thing coming, brah. Thank you for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.